Hello and thanks for joining us from our studios in Israel. I'm Natasha Kirchak here with ILTV's Morning Briefing. Explosions have just been reported at an Iranian military site in Syria just outside of Damascus. This comes just a few days after another mysterious explosion was reported hitting a Syrian base in the region, a blast that left at least 28 people dead. Speculation is high that Israeli jets may have carried out this morning's attack. But Israel, as policy, does not comment on incidents like these. Word is that this morning's attack targeted a base used by Iran to conduct electronic warfare. Typically, Syrian media is quick to assign blame for strikes like this, but has so far offered no details. The nature of the attack, conducted in the early hours of the morning, would be more in line with Israel's typical strike pattern. Israel has been very clear that it will not allow an Iranian entrenchment on its doorstep in Syria. Tensions between Iran and Israel reached a fever pitch earlier this month when President Trump withdrew the United States from the JCPOA-Iran nuclear deal. Tehran launched no less than 20 missiles at Israeli sites in the Golan shortly thereafter, prompting an Israeli counterattack that severely crippled Tehran's forces in the region. Still, others speculate that these explosions, like Friday's attack, could easily have been committed by Syrian rebels. Some Israeli ministers say the current bout of aggression with Iran is over. Others are keeping a close eye on the border. Israeli security forces have just arrested 5 Palestinians in the West Bank, all on suspicion of their involvement in terror activities and rioting. This comes after a series of riots last night that broke out in the West Bank city of Jenin. Dozens of protesters were caught setting tires on fire and throwing rocks at security forces. There were no reports of injuries to Israeli police in the clashes, and the IDF responded with crowd control methods. Over the weekend, another 3 people were arrested in Jerusalem on suspicion of throwing rocks and launching firecrackers at Israeli police. 2 of the suspects were in their early 20s and were taken into custody at the Damascus gate of the Old City, which has been the scene of numerous terror attacks on Israeli civilians and security in the past. Protests have surged against Israel, accusing misconduct in the army's handling of the latest Gaza border rallies. The UN's Human Rights Council has just voted for an official investigation into the death of at least 112 Palestinians shot by the IDF during the last 2 months. Meanwhile, in Haifa, hundreds of Israelis have protested against the IDF as well, igniting a new domestic controversy. A human rights activist, Jafar Farah, was one of 21 protesters arrested during the weekend's demonstration. Shortly after his arrest, Farah claims an Israeli police officer intentionally broke his leg. At least 7 other arrested protesters also required medical attention after they were taken into custody. For this reason, the Haifa courts have actually ordered the release of all protesters from jail. Suspected police brutality will likely soon come under an official probe. Meanwhile, protests have surged all over the world in the wake of Israel's response to the Hamas-sponsored March of Return. Israel claims these rallies were an obvious cover-up for terror and a mere PR stunt that clearly blinded the media. Moreover, Israeli leaders have pointed out that a significant number of casualties were actually Hamas members. But these claims have only intensified much of the global criticism. Over 10,000 Moroccans have just attended a mass protest slamming Israel's Gaza policy. The words "death to Israel" could be heard throughout the streets of Casablanca. The majority of nations are lobbying the UN Security Council to send an international team to investigate Israeli conduct in suppressing the protests. Israel has stated that it will not cooperate with such an investigation, and the US has already said it will veto any such resolution. This will likely send the vote to the UN's General Assembly. Resolutions here do not carry any legal power. The FBI's special investigation into possible collusion by Donald Trump's campaign to interfere with the 2016 election has spread to Israel. 3 months before the election, several top members of Team Trump apparently met with an Israeli specialist in social media manipulation. The meeting was allegedly held at Trump Tower in Manhattan and included an emissary for 2 wealthy Arab princes, the former head of Blackwater and Donald Trump's son. The Israeli specialist has been named as Joel Zamel, who allegedly pitched the Trump campaign a multi-million-dollar proposal to help win him the election. This plan reportedly included illegally using thousands of fake social media accounts to promote Trump, employing several former Israeli intelligence officers from the PSY Group company. But these reports may be much more than mere speculation. Apparently, the FBI has already traveled to Tel Aviv to interview witnesses in the affair. Israeli police have apparently already cooperated with FBI and seized computers from Zamel's office here in Israel. Shocking evidence also suggests that Zamel was paid $2 million after Trump won the presidency, and also visited the White House to meet with former advisors Steve Bannon and Jared Kushner. Special counsel Robert Mueller has been investigating Team Trump's possible illegal conduct to win the election for over a year now, with many indictments and subpoenas already on the table. President Trump has lambasted the probe again on Twitter for going global, and Trump maintains that there's no evidence of any collusion. It looks like the United Kingdom will be the next nation to benefit from Israel's leading health tech. The Northern Health Science Alliance of England has just signed a memorandum of understanding with the UK-Israel Tech Hub. Now the organization will be bringing Israeli health and medical tech innovations into its network. The deal is focused on northern England, where the population of 15 million people could benefit from more medical advancement. There are over 1,400 life science and healthcare companies in Israel that could do just that, and this new MOU will provide support to these companies and their work in the region. The UK-Israel Tech Hub was launched at the British Embassy in 2011 to create partnerships between the UK and Israeli innovation. And so far, it's clearly working.
That's all for now. I'm Natasha Kirchak, and see you later with our main daily broadcast from Israel at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.